Let's sell more cars and get more leads by changing this one setting. What's going on, guys? David Feldman-Makrias here, and today we're going to be talking about a very, very simple way to get more leads, sell more cars, sell more of any product for a lead generation company, and it's really by auditing your conversions. Okay, so for this, you have to be running Google Ads. And the main reason why this actually will lead to tangible, leads or actual car sales is because as far as marketing goes, the search-based marketing is the most intentful marketing there is currently because it's very demand-driven. If someone is searching for something, then they have very high intent to either learn or do business, so they're already pre-qualified there. And Google Ads has the majority market share for search, about 90% as far as search engines go. 90% of all searches happen on Google. So, guys, conversions are what matters the absolute most. And I just don't understand why they're not being talked about more specifically in the automotive industry and any lead generation industry. They're talked about heavily in e-commerce because e-commerce, it's a lot more trackable throughout the entire sales process. You can actually delineate, at least reasonably, what sort of ad spend led to what sort of purchase. With lead generation, especially in the automotive industries we're going to be going through, that analogous example doesn't directly correlate, doesn't apply. But the reason I want to go through this is because most accounts that I see that our team audits, that we take over as far as automotive lead gen, we're going to do automotive specifically in this example, but it's not limited to automotive. Most of the accounts that I see are they're just not set up correctly from a conversion standpoint at all. So I'm going to walk you through what's going on here. This client that I'm going to go through is actually, we're managing a third party to run Google Ads for this individual dealership. And this dealership, and the reason, even though I really don't like it, the reason is because this third party is sponsored by the original equipment manufacturer, the OEM, to run Google Ads so that, the individual store can get, marketing reimbursement. That's basically it. But they don't do that great of a job, and we're their agency, and they're really just, it's cookie cutter stuff. This is what to look for. If you want to sell more cars and get more leads that actually mean something, this is the kind of stuff you need to have your representative audit, go through with you. Like, people look at Google Ads and think about how many clicks and stuff like that you're getting, or phone calls or leads or whatever. You need to look here first because we need to understand what really is a lead. This is going to directly help you sell more cars. So I just brought up an image here, and this is actual original conversion values. Okay. What is a conversion value? A conversion value is a monetary amount that is set for a specific conversion. So it's basically like, how much is one appointment worth in Google? How much is one call worth in Google? How much is one finance lead worth in Google? How much is one email lead worth in Google? So on and so forth. So the reason I bring this up is because conversions and conversion value are extremely important in Google Ads. It's probably one of the most important things in Google Ads, and what we start with first. The reason, because all of Google's machine learning, artificial intelligence, all of their data, they're basing your campaigns, especially if you're using smart bidding, which we're pretty much all geared to at this point. This is the main thing that the campaigns are going after, right? To generate more of these. So we need to set them up correctly. When I look at this from an original standpoint, it sort of looks okay, right? I mean, store visits I haven't seen reliably tracked. Store visits is actually when someone has a mobile device, clicks the ad, and then goes to the website, or clicks the ad, goes to the website, and then that same mobile device ID is registered as going within the actual store's location, so it counts as a store visit. I haven't seen store visits be accurate at all. I see sometimes one month there's 300 store visits, and the next month there will be zero. So although it sounds really good, like oh my gosh, that's really it. Um, I don't put much weight on store visit, so I have a disagreement here right off the bat. Is a store visit really worth $600? I would say no, especially because you can't really discern. It's not easy to discern if the store visit is actually coming from to the sales department or they're going to have their car serviced, right? Because those lead quantities and those lead values are completely different. So that's why store visit is not a reliable metric. Anyways, I've made videos about that. I'll put a link to that video at the end of this video as long and right here as well. So that's why I don't like store visits as much. Let's go through a couple other ways. Make an appointment. Okay. Make an appointment, call from ads, offline call from ads. Yeah, I mean, calling is good. I don't know if I'd rank it higher. And here's the thing, too. It's like, how do we just decide what arbitrary values go into this? This is something that supposedly the OEM partner and Google worked out between them, and that's why they're an OEM partner managing this. So, of course, I have my little squabbles at things, but again, it's not really my decision. I don't necessarily agree with the lead value here. Like, I would say a form submission, form lead, and email lead, and finance lead, like those lead types, those should be at the tippy top. Make an appointment should be at the top as well. Maybe make an appointment to the tippy top, and then all the lead ones are towards the top. Service lead, I mean, it's better that it's less because typically a service lead isn't going to be worth as much as a sales lead. I don't necessarily agree with how these values are decided, but the reason that values are put in here is not necessarily to say, oh my gosh, every appointment we have is worth $500. No, it's really to tell Google what is the priority. So when Google goes after it, it knows when we're using the bid strategy maximize conversion value, it knows, okay, if I get 2 making appointments, that's going to be worth approximately 4 finance leads. So I'm going to prioritize, me being Google, I'm going to prioritize making an appointment, right? So it really just gives Google a sense of priority of conversions. So, okay, how are we supposed to sell more cars from this, David? All right, well, the first thing you need to do, and you should do this with your Google Ads rep, and even if you're not in the automotive space, if you're a lead generation company or an e-commerce company for that matter, but if you're a lead generation company, you need to go in and you run Google Ads. You need to go in and audit your conversions. Everybody's spending all this money on Google Ads, especially when the economy gets worse. So everyone's like, oh, I'll put the money in Google. Well, you better make sure you know what Google's going after. And this is what Google's going after. And that's why if you're going to sell more cars, this is the first thing that I would look at because it's the lowest hanging fruit to make results better. So let's take a little look-ski. The reason why I'm going in this is these are all the conversions. Here's the problem with this OEM vendor. All the conversion values that were originally set here changed. So let's do one of these. And then we're going to do one of these. And then I'm going to minimize this so we can see the difference. Okay. So store visit. Store visit. Oh, this is really hard to see. Maybe if we go like this. Hang on, guys. Nope, I can't collapse that any more than I have. Well, that's okay. We'll just flip back and forth. So store visits, we show, if I click into store visits, I'm going to minimize my little head here. Now store visits is worth $1. Wait a minute. Store visits was supposed to be worth $600. And this is the same provider. Same provider. This provider told me this is what they're worth, and now they're saying it's $1. They never had a discussion with us about this, so now we have to follow up. Great. Let's go back. Let's do another one. Make an appointment. I don't even know if that's going to be in here. Make an appointment. Okay, so it's not labeled correctly either. All right, let's just keep going down. We'll try and do our best here to match. So, store visits again had 290 overall conversions. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to do December, 345. Let's do November, 304. Okay, this store visit's actually tracking pretty accurately. I might hold some more merit to it. Okay, then 111. It's like that's such a big discrepancy. I don't know. Usually there's a similar amount of store visits. You're not going to have like a crazy variance. And then September you had 0. So that's what I'm talking about. Store visits really don't matter. That you can't use them as a reliable metric. Anywho, okay, let's keep going. So if we look at service lead, okay, they say service lead is worth $188. Did they change it or is it the same? Use the value in currency from Google Analytics for property. If there's no value, use 625. So they might have changed it, but that's a weird default value. Why would you use that? You're just prioritizing everything at that point. So, like, I can find and pick so many little flaws inside the conversion window of Google Ads accounts. That's basically where I start. Like if I'm going to audit any account, I'm going to start at the settings and I'm going to start at the conversion window because guaranteed if somebody is not a true expert in Google Ads, like even myself and my team, I'm learning things every single day. And there's certain things that, like we just discovered, something got messed up this weekend and we had to fix it. And we're literally in this stuff all the time. So somebody that's not quite have their finger on the pulse or is trying to do it themselves or really just isn't paying attention. I mean, there's so much misinformation. It's crazy. Okay, let's look at, what's another one? Form submission. Okay, we'll look at form submit. Okay, so use the value in currency from the GA4 property. If there's no value, 625. If I see another one of those, we're going to the GA4 property, and then we're going to go see what that is. All right, let's see clicks to call. That's a Google hosted one, so I don't want it to be Google hosted. Hours and directions. Use the value in currency from the GA4 property. If there's no value, is 156. So now my default value is different. Oh, see, this is where I go down the rabbit hole. So now what we're going to do real quick is we're going to go to the GA4 property and see what it's actually worth. So I just flipped over to the GA4 property and there are no conversion events. So Google Ads and Google Analytics aren't even linked correctly. See, now we're starting to uncover the real mysteries. Just stuff isn't set up right, stuff isn't configured right, and that's really sad. That's really sad for this specific dealer because they're spending significant amount of money in here per month. Yeah, if I look here, $11,000 this month. That's a hefty marketing budget to just be willy-nilly on. So hopefully this has made some sense. If you want to sell more cars or generate more leads or actually sell more of your product and get more people in the door, if Google Ads is a marketing tool for you and you're spending significant amount of dollars on this, you need to check your conversion settings. Change these settings, audit them, understand them, make sure they're correct, make sure they're tracking correctly. Make sure that if you don't know what this means or you don't know exactly what this is, you have somebody that can speak a little more technical, that can understand if they're set up correctly. And your agency or your provider should be going through this with you. If they're not, shame on them. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to know your thoughts. I'm looking forward to making more videos about this, guys. NADA 2024 is coming up for all of you automotive people out there. And we shall do some coverage of NADA and post-NADA meetings later on this week. So hopefully you have a great day, guys. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much.